Hello, this is teacher Alex from phuketpals. Welcome to the next GED Science screencast, episode 2 on test questions. If you find this video useful, please hit the subscribe button below. This helps us to help more people like you. Alright, let's get started. This question is on the carbon cycle, which we see here on the right. And before we get a little bit deeper in our matter, let's read the paragraph we are given first. Up here. The carbon cycle describes the constant exchange of carbon among the atmosphere, land and ocean. The following diagram depicts carbon cycle processes. The numbers on the diagram represent the approximate number of gigatons of carbon located in different portions of the cycle. Alright, to read such a diagram, which is a system diagram, we have to know what the different parts mean. And a system diagram usually contains two things. It contains boxes and arrows, where the boxes represent storages, deposits, containers, so something is located in there and stuck there. It doesn't move. When it moves, it is represented by an arrow, and usually it moves from one storage to another, and the process that moves the things around are called fluxes, flows or transfers, and as mentioned are represented by arrows from one box to another with a specific direction. So with this knowledge we can have a closer look at our carbon cycle. We see 4 storages. We see the atmosphere that contains 800 gigatons of carbon. We see the Earth's crust that has coal, oil and gas deposits, storages. We see land, which consists of the storages soil and terrestrial vegetation like trees, other plants. And we have the ocean, which contains dissolved carbon dioxide and marine life. And then we have different fluxes in between these boxes or storages. We see, for example, from the atmosphere to land photosynthesis, meaning plants taking up carbon dioxide, fixing it in the form of glucose, and incorporating it into the skeleton, for example, in the form of cellulose, fixing carbon and storing it now in the land. We have deforestation, land use by natural events or human events, releasing carbon from land into the atmosphere. We have volcanic activity or fossil fuel emissions. Okay, let's have a look at the first question. On the diagram, indicate the process that removes the greatest proportion of carbon from the atmosphere. So a process in this case means a flux, something is happening, something is transferred. Which process removes the greatest amount from the atmosphere? That means it has to go from the atmosphere to another box. We have two options. We have the oceans and we have land. So which options do we have particularly? We have 6 arrows that are in between the atmosphere and the land box. However, only 2 of these fluxes go from the atmosphere to land, and these are the ones that we want to look at. These are reforestation and photosynthesis. Then we have 1 arrow that goes from the atmosphere to the ocean, and this is the air to sea exchange. Now, which of these 3 fluxes removes the greatest proportion of carbon from the atmosphere? Again, let's have a look. Is it reforestation with 3 gigatons? No. Is it air to sea exchange with 92 gigatons? It is not. No? So the largest amount of carbon removed from the atmosphere is by photosynthesis with 110 gigatons. So this is the correct answer. Let's have a look at the next question. Using the information in the diagram, how many gigatons of carbon are estimated to be stored in fossil fuel deposits? And for this, we have to first know what are fossil fuels, because the term fossil fuel is not indicated on our diagram here. So this is assumed knowledge. You have to know what fossil fuels are. And a fossil fuel is a natural fuel formed in the geological past from decayed plants and animals by exposure to heat and pressure in the Earth's crust over hundreds of millions of years. And what are fossil fuels? Fossil fuels are coal, which is formed from the remains of plants, and oil and natural gas, which is formed from the remains of past decaying animals. So that means that our fossil fuel deposits are the sum of these two down here. 2000 gigatons of coal plus 300 gigatons of oil and gas. And this gives us answer D, 2300 gigatons. The other answers are supposed to mislead us here a little bit. We see the 2000, so if you think, okay, only coal is a fossil fuel, then you might go for 2000. If you think only oil and gas is a fossil fuel and not coal, then you might go for the 300. And the other confusing part is the 7 gigatons, which is related to the fossil fuel emissions, which is a flux from land to the atmosphere, burning fossil fuels, the process of this, not the fossil fuel storages. The question specifically asks for stored fossil fuel deposits, 2300 gigatons. All right, this is it for our episode 2 on test questions. I hope I could help you in understanding the way how to solve GED test questions more efficiently and better. And I hope to see you for episode 3. Thank you very much.